Hello there. Welcome to another exciting podcast right here on Seth Talks titled Imo In Focus. Seth Igwe is what I go by, and I am your foremost brand strategist and broadcast journalist who thrive on giving a pep to the step of your personal and corporate brand. Last Tuesday, 14th of January 2020, the Supreme Court nullified the election of Emeka Ihedioha as the Governor of Imo State. The seven-man panel led by Chief Justice Tanko Mohammed unanimously declared Senator Hope Uzodinma of the APC as the winner of the March 19 governorship election. The appellant, Senator Uzodinma, contended that he scored the highest number of votes in the election, but the Independent National Electoral Commission returned Emeka Ihedioha as the governor of the state. Justice Kudirat Kekerekun, who delivered the judgment on Tuesday, declared that the votes due to Senator Uzodinma were unlawfully excluded from the 318 polling unit and should be added to his votes. The Apex Court considered the submissions of a principal witness who was on a subpoena to present results and held that the lower court was wrong in its ruling. And the justice, while reading the late judgment, declared Senator Uzodinma as the validly elected governor and the certificate of return issued to Ihedioha be withdrawn immediately. Meanwhile, candidate of the AA, that is the Action Alliance, Uche Nwosu, withdrew a second appeal filed against the election of Emeka Ihedioha. And according to his counsel, Mr. Solomon Umo, said the withdrawal on Tuesday is based on the judgment of the Apex Court delivered on the 20th of December 2019. Now, we went to the streets of Owerri, the Imo State capital, to bring you reports. This report is courtesy of my friends at Reach FM Owerri.
My name is Chinedu Nade. Well, the latest happening in the state is the issue of APC taking over PDP. I must say that it is a welcome development, but it goes a long way to show how much of a joke our electoral system is, how much of injustice and corruption is in the system. A man that went from 4th in the March 19 election in the state, from 4th position to being the first. It is a total joke. I beg the question, what happened to the second and the third person? That is it. But so far so good. I am an APC man myself, and yes, I'm happy that APC is back in state. You know, the president is in the APC himself, so you know it's very funny. You understand such magic that went on in the process of announcing or giving the final verdict. So no, it was absolutely not fair. Yes.
My name is Mr. Reginald Ochuku. For some of us, it came as a shock. We never expected it. But then, since the Supreme Court, which is the highest court of the land, deemed it fit, that was what was right at this time, we have no option than to accept it. I also pray that the new government will do the right thing for the people.
My name is Emeka. As citizens, we ought to obey the judgment of the courts, and the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land, has passed their verdict and is obeyed, as we are meant to understand that they nullified the election of the previous governor on the basis that he rigged or the election wasn't fair. So the judgment has been passed and we have accepted it. And I believe and I call on the past administrations to accept it in good faith and let the new one continue where he stopped.
My name is Amarachi. What is currently happening in the state right now, it is nothing to write home about. I think just removing a governor who is on seat just like that and putting somebody else who was at the 4th position in the elections, I think is not right. It is really, really wrong. Yeah. So I think we should all just pray to God to help us and direct the new government to do what the Imolites want and to continue the good work the past government has started.
Many thanks to my friends at Rich FM Owerri for making that report possible. I also got to talk to a broadcast journalist and political analyst resident in Owerri to hear his say about the event in Imo State. Now here is Alex Ogbonnaya and what he had to say concerning the matter.
It depends on which side of the divide you belong to. By that I mean, it depends on which party you belong to in this case. Because there is this popular saying that another man food, another man poison. The judgment by the Supreme Court last Tuesday could be kind of a poison to the Ihedioha camp and PDP in general. But the ACT, some very nourishing food because they are now in power. Be that as it may, the news was received with some very funny feelings in Imo. I'm just speaking generally now. Not everybody expected it, even though some people claim that they expected it to happen that way. But the generality of Imolites are not comfortable. In fact, just today there was a protest held in Owerri by those who believe that the judgment was faulty. And they've also called on Sanko, as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, to resign and that Ihedioha be reinstated. Of course, we know that cannot happen. Generally, the news wasn't received well because Ihedioha has been in power for 7-8 months and it's not been doing badly. Trust me, some of the roads are being looked into and other issues like pensioners, money, and all of that are also being looked into. So he started well. That was why when this news came. So many people wept, but I saw 2 people who wept. And even the Ihedioha himself has said that he still believes in the country's democracy. I have taken it, of course, like a perfect gentleman. But again, too, there's a big question for our judiciary. Why some people believe that the judiciary has been compromised because of the judgment? How can you justify the fact that somebody who came fourth, you got a question now, somebody who came fourth in an election is now, by the decision of the court, is now the governor of the state. The same issue was thrown out at the tribunal, thrown out at the appeal court, and then the Supreme Court upheld it. So I think it's neither here nor there. Like I said, it depends on which side of the party you belong to. If you're a PDP person, you feel cheated, you feel bad. But if you're an ACT person, wow, the court is the hope of maybe the downtrodden, and then justice has been served if you're an ACT person. But if you're a PDP person, of course, you won't buy that. So that's the thing. So, but in Imo State, frankly speaking, the reality of Imolites are not happy with that ruling. And Uzodinma, as the new governor now, pulled 96,000+ votes to place 4. While Ihedioha got 273 or 76,000 votes to win the election. But he argued that over 300 polling units, his votes from 200 polling units were not accounted for, were not included in his vote tally. And these are from areas that he has a very strong hold. He's Oru East area, or Lu area, where he is very popular, where he comes from. And so the Supreme Court held that. They also collected the results, and INEC confirmed that INEC brought the original, because they brought the photocopy. INEC brought the original, which tallied with the photocopy that Uzodinma and his party presented in court. INEC also confirmed that those results were authentic. So the big question is, why did INEC not include those results in the final collation? So I think at the end of the day, INEC is to blame in all of this wahala, if you allow me to use that word. So the court now looked at those calls, and since INEC has said those calls were genuine, the results were genuine, the document, that's the INEC paper used to present the results were genuine, the court had no option than to accept the results. And so in accepting the results, they now put together those votes, 296,000 votes that he scored, and then Uzodinma scored almost 300,000 votes, if not more. And that made him the winner of the election. So that was just what happened in court. And that was why, from first position, he ended up becoming the governor of Imo State.
As a political analyst and a broadcaster based in Owerri right now, could you give us a first-hand information as to the situation of things right now in Owerri, the Imo State capital?
Yeah, trust me, Imo State is calm, very calm. We expected some skirmishes here and there when the news broke. The news broke on a Tuesday evening, and we thought there would be some problems here and there. There were not, no problem. And we said, okay, maybe by Wednesday they will gather and cause trouble. Nothing of such happened. Of course, let's also give kudos to the police. They expected 1 or 2 things to go wrong, to happen. They expected that whatever the pendulum of victory swings to, if the ruling had favored the PDP, there's every likelihood too that some APC guys would have caused wahala. And if the victory favored APC like it did, they were expecting PDP to also cause small mayhem in town. But nothing of such happened. So as we speak, aside from yesterday, where some PDP guys demonstrated carrying placards with different inscriptions calling on Sanko, the CJN to resign, and calling on the federal government to undo what it did, Owerri, the capital of Imo State, has been very, very peaceful, and people have been going about their normal. You just see people gathered in groups just discussing the issues, some for, some against, and that's just it.
Many thanks to you, Alex Ogbonnaya, for joining us on telephone, straight from Owerri. There have been many persons talking, but one thing is sure: the Supreme Court, being the apex court in Nigeria, cannot reverse a decision already made by it, okay? So as Alex rightly said, I think right now the best option for Emeka Ihedioha is to go back, put his house in order, and probably get ready for 2023. Seth Igwe is what I go by, and many thanks to you for listening to this edition of Seth Talks, titled Imo In Focus. And don't forget to get back to us with your thoughts, your suggestions, your contribution in a bid to make this podcast a favorable listen, an exciting listen each and every time. Thank you once again, and thank you to my friends at Reach FM Owerri, and of course to Alex Ogbonnaya, and to you for being patient with me, for bringing the podcast a little bit later than scheduled. Have a beautiful day today.